great for the pocketbook, bad for the environment, I think. But
I mean, it was burning stuff that had paint all over it. I was like, dude, this is terrible for you to be breathing in. He was
all
like,
sorts of adhesives, probably a bunch of asbestos in there.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It was probably, I honestly wouldn't surprise me if he was burning the old insulation. Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I don't care how long it is.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with the person.
Maybe you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
If I'm going to put money into this, it's going to be great. And I guarantee it.
Get it?
Woo.
Hey, buddy, this is Jonathan Katz-Moses. Welcoming you to a Off the Cut episode 169 for Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. I just wanted to tell you guys to go over to camtools.com and, check out all the best tools over there. Hey, buddy, for woodworkers, by woodworkers, don't you know?
It's in our shop.
Canadian there at the
end. I was going to say you
bad.
slipped the Canadian at the end.
That was so bad.
I respect your commitment to the bit there. You kept that going for longer than I thought you would.
Hey, well, that's because if it's in our store, it's also in our shop, just like Cam Tools always says.
Exactly. I was thinking we often joke about how when it comes to sponsors on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that, a little hack that we've both learned in the last, I don't know, I'd say year or so, is that you just don't have to do everything they ask for. And a lot of the time, it just flies under the radar and nobody really
cares.
Make them
ask.
Yeah.
What do you think the bare minimum we could do for KM Tools would be?
Add read over.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that.
It could be that, right?
The thing is, Jonathan expects so little.
I know.
That you're like, yeah, dude, I'll bring up all the stuff you wanted us to bring up. Like, I'll bring up the fact that if it's in their store, it's in their shop. Mm-hmm. A portion of all their sales goes directly towards the Katz-Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund, which gets tools and resources in the hands of folks who need it most.
Mm-hmm.
And that you can get 5% off when you sign up for their newsletter, which isn't full of crap. And I'm doing this entire ad read while I'm trying to go under my back blaze.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to stop your back?
Yeah, I'm trying to do something while I'm doing the ad read. That tells you how ingrained it is in my head. I will wake up in the middle of the night and be like, it's for woodworkers by woodworkers.
I'll wake up, it's for woodworkers by woodworkers.
Yeah. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, if it's in their store, it's in their shop.
Then she's like, go back to sleep, Eric. You're having another night terror.
Yeah. No, but then I was like, well, I had this other idea. I had this thought that Jonathan was going to give away a $50 gift card to KM Tools every single month to our patrons over on patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. And she's like, no, that's reality.
What?
Yeah.
I think that's it. And then is there room for an inception loop there where you're actually awake in the dream?
Yeah. And then I won the $50 KM Tools gift card.
Yes.
So I told Jonathan I won, and he was like, no. He's like, hey, buddy, you gotta pick somebody else.
Could we become patrons of our own podcast and potentially win the gift card every single month? How quickly would we lose all our patrons if it was just the three of us just rotated winning the gift card every month?
Derek won. Eric won. Zac won.
Crazy. Keeps happening.
Yeah. We'd be like Martha Stewart,
Why? Because she went to jail for insider trading?
Yeah, allegedly.
No, I think it's not allegedly. I think or maybe she plead out. Did she take a plea deal?
I don't remember. I actually watched her Netflix documentary the other night.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of it. I don't think they got to the insider trading bit. I feel like they maybe just gloss over that.
It was good. Derek, did you see it?
I saw it. Yeah. I mean, they had to have talked about it because they talked about her being in jail and everything.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Because she started, she worked with some people and helped some people find crafting as a way to get out of drug usage or whatever was plaguing them before and all this other stuff. They were talking about it. So I don't remember exactly how they covered it because I watched it when it came out months ago and I watched other things since then and I can't retain that much knowledge.
She got them hooked on craft instead of crack.
Yes, right.
The one where they get hooked on craft. That might be the episode
show title right there. 100%. One really get hooked on craft.
Ooh. Oh man, that is good. That is good. Well, Derek, I want to change it up. I want to start out. What did you been working on this week? I know this weekend you sent Zach and I a picture of your like display things.
Yes, yeah. My garage is packed full of them right now. I got 4 of them, big units. They're just under 7 feet tall, about 36 inches wide and 28 inches deep. They are massive. I got 4 of them in my shop. They are taking up that much room, but I'm in the home stretch. I plan on delivering on Friday. I have one last thing. I finished up some last minute sanding and cleanup and prep, and then tomorrow I am painting and I am done. Once that dries, I'll deliver them on Friday and I can have my shop back finally, and I am thoroughly excited to have my shop back. But yes, last step is painting, and I was going to spray them, but like I said, my shop is just packed full of them. And then not only that, but I've also got the drawer faces that are separate that have to be sprayed and laid out. I have the there's like a crown that goes on top of them, like that top part with the accent work that y'all saw, that comes off, and so that needs to be painted separately so that the bottom of it can be painted and the top of the unit can be painted. And so then I'd have to find somewhere to set those down as well while they're drying. And so all this stuff is just adding up, and then not to mention like all my tools and everything else I have in my shop. So I'm looking at it as I'm wrapping up today, and I'm like, I cannot spray in here. I was planning on spraying, but I'm going to have to hand roll it all because there's no way I can spray it without like covering all my tools. They're being painted black, without covering all my tools in black paint behind them.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't roll 3 of them out, just do one and like make a little like a U-shaped tent around it with some plastic or something.
I got nowhere to roll it out to. Like I would have to roll it out into the driveway, which is slanted. So then I'm worried about them rolling away.
Yeah.
I can lock off the wheels, but like there's that. And then I've got my garage open and it's super windy, or it may be, I don't know, like it changes every day.
Yeah.
And then if it's really windy, then that plastic that I've got lining the walls is just going to be flapping all over the place. And if that touches that wet paint, it's destroyed, and I will be so upset.
Or somebody's mowing their lawn and leaves.
Yeah.
And get a bunch of debris in there and gets stuck in your paint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, God.
So I'm just going to be spending tomorrow hand rolling them.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's
people don't spend enough time talking about how much it sucks.
Painting
projects.
Absolutely. It's my least favorite.
100%. At least, I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer to paint or like a clear coat? What's more pressure to you?
Well, see, this is why I don't do either. I just put oil on everything.
Oil rub on everything. Yeah.
I did Rubio, the slat part that you could see in the middle, that's Rubioed. So, and that's why it's covered in plastic, so it doesn't get paint on it. And, but that part, that was super easy. Just rub that Rubio on. And like, I touched the backside of it whenever I was rubbing it on. And when I flipped it over, there were little finger marks. And I just put on more, rubbed it in, and they just disappeared.
I know.
I love
That's
that stuff so much.
I know. That's the YouTuber's hack.
Yeah.
Is like, this needs to be out tomorrow.
Yeah. Just
put oil on it.
Put a little oil on it. Looks good for the photo shoot. I don't know, come back 3-4 years later. I don't know if it'll still be looking as good, but
you can actually repair it.
Yeah. I mean, just apply more. Yeah. Put more on. Yeah. That's true.
Or hit it with a light sanding, throw more on, you're done. Like you got like a clear coat, like polyacrylic, polyurethane or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You're kidding yourself if you're telling yourself, I'll refinish that. No way. No way.
I had to do it once, and it was a pain. Like I had to feather out the sanding and then apply the clear coat, get it nice and level, and even then, like you could tell where it had been covered.
You just gotta strip it all off.
Yeah.
Unless you have the same can of the same finish. But even then, like I think the old stuff weathers, like it gets bleached by the sun, and so I don't know.
This was all in like one sitting. Like I did my whole thing, I was done, and then there was like a little tiny crack that was in the wood that I didn't notice whenever I'd finished it. So I had to go in and repair that. I had to cut it back, and I just put a slither of wood in that crack, filled the crack. It looked great, but then I had to re-clear coat it, and I didn't didn't strip the whole table because it was a table. It was like 6 by 3. I wasn't going to do the whole thing. I was like, I'll just do this little bit. And that's a lesson I learned. You got to strip the whole thing down. Can't do part of it.
Even the cans tell you like, oh yeah, you can just like spot sand it and throw it. No, you cannot.
No.
Well, you can, but it looks like hell.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked as best as I could get it, but even then you can notice it. Even feathering it out, babying it, it just, you can tell.
So you're just going to do the old roll and tip method?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'll just roll it. I mean, it's mostly flat surfaces, so it shouldn't be, except for the trim work on the inside, but it shouldn't be too difficult to roll it out.
Speaking of like touching up an area, you ever see these TikTok videos where somebody will have, like, there'll be like a corner of a table missing, and it'll be all sped up footage, and it's somebody will come in, they'll put a white piece of laminate there, they'll sand it flat, they'll put a little bit of wood filler, and then they'll come in with like a paintbrush and paint on the wood texture.
Really?
Have you never seen these videos before?
No.
My favorite is whenever they do it with like, what is it, ramen and super glue first.
Yes,
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. People replace,
and then they paint it
like
in.
a toilet bowl, right?
Those have to be BS though, right? Like that's just they're filming from like 10 feet away, and it's like, okay, it kind of looks okay, but you could definitely tell the second you looked 1 degree to the side.
I guarantee someone's done it on YouTube. Same with like the trying to build a boat out of a screen door and Flex Seal. I guarantee someone's done it.
Sure.
Well, didn't Malecki do the whole like Flex Seal thing? Like he challenged that one on one of his videos a few months back. Oh, somebody in the comments will let us know. I'm sure they've seen it too.
Yeah, probably. So roll and tip is what you're going with. That's still going to take you days to paint that stuff.
Oh, you think so?
Well, you're gonna have to like cut in all like the details with the brush, aren't you?
Yeah. That's what I got.
I don't know if days, but probably a full day to do all 4.
Yeah, I have a full day for it. I have 2 full days for it if I need it.
All right.
And if not, I just let them know, hey, the painting ran over. I'll be on Monday.
Yeah.
Right. The greatest debate. What paint did you go with?
Oh,
people get hot about paint.
Brand or sheen?
Yeah.
I went with a eggshell. It's a black.
Okay.
And it is Sherwin-Williams, which is what I always go with. Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane.
Oh,
Eric's dad
I
is
always use on
pumping.
Yeah. My dad's like, hell yeah!
Sherwin-Williams supremacy.
I've been retired
go
for
with.
15 years, but hell yeah. Cashed in all the stock probably on that one. Derek's
never failed me.
My dad's retirement.
Except for my wife will get it every once in a while without me, and she'll get like the latex version of it, like the I don't know which one she gets. She doesn't get the emerald urethane,
like the duration or whatever.
Yeah, she gets something else, and it's like it's a latex, and whenever it gets applied to like cabinets or something like that, it just peels right off. And it's a combination of that, and like she doesn't sand in advance or anything like that.
Yeah.
Normies, like normal people, think that paint is paint is paint.
Yeah.
They don't know that there's
Same with
like
landlords.
So they go to the Home Depot and they're like, same with landlords. Yeah, very true. They're like, well, this one's $60 a can. This one's $150 a can. I'm gonna be a genius. I'm gonna get the $60 one because it's all the same at the end of the day.
It's the same color.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You can get it mixed to whatever color, same sheen. It's the same product.
Or this one says it's 3-in-1. It's a sealer, primer, base coat and top coat.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that'd be 4-in-1, but yeah, that cheap paint is so bad.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Like if you don't care about the project, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, true. If you want it to look good from like whatever 20 feet away, but even the landlord comment is so spot on. But it's like they're just screwing themselves in the end because you got to use multiple coats of it, right?
Oh, it's water thin.
Yeah. So.
And then the problem is like no one uses doorknobs, right? You put your hand on the door and you close it.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's why every door everywhere has black smears at approximately arm height.
Right. So like about 6 to 8 inches above the, I don't know, probably a little higher than that, above the doorknob, you'll see just like a brown patch if it's a white door. Yeah. Everybody just closes it. If you have good paint, you can literally just get like a sponge or a paper towel, a little bit of soap on it. Yeah. It'll come right off. Yeah. Crappy paint, you try to wipe it off, the paint's coming with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Or a crappy paint job. Like if they didn't bother cleaning it before they put on whatever the last layer was.
Oh, yeah. Now, Zach, let me ask you this. When you guys would do like whole homes and stuff like that, would your painter like scuff sand everything, or would they prime everything, or would they just like rip it and throw paint on?
Majority of the time we were working from like fresh drywall. So yeah, there will be a sealer coat that goes on and then you rip it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But curious.
It depends. Like if I think you can, most situations, you can go latex over top of latex. And as long as there's no obvious flaws, like a quick scuff and then away you go with a new coat over the top.
Yeah.
Because if it's a 60-year-old paint job and it's not flaking, it's like, okay, chances are pretty good that that's well adhered and you can just lay a new coat over the top of it. Although 60 years, I say that out loud, 60 years ago, probably oil-based paint.
Oh, that's true.
Which you cannot put latex over. That'll just flake right off. Yeah. Because oil and water don't mix.
Yeah. So you got the emerald urethane, excellent choice. I know our good friend Keith Johnson loves Sherwin-Williams emerald urethane. He's actually sponsored by Sherwin-Williams.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
No, he hates. He despises.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it was like. I knew one of them hated it, and one of them loves it. One of them swears by it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that funny? It's like you'd think it'd be pretty consistent across the board. Like, I
don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, it's what I discovered like 5 or 6 years ago on a project. I was working with a real estate agent, and she had me come in and do some shelves next to her fireplace. Okay. And they were wood stained shelves with like a clear coat on them, but then she wanted the inside of it painted before the shelves went in place. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. And she's like, okay, but I only get my paint from Sherwin-Williams. I'll call ahead and I'll have the paint ready for you because I'm very specific about the paint I get. And I was like, that's fine. I had the same thought. Paint is paint, whatever. So I go and I pick up the paint for her, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, this is expensive paint, but okay, whatever you want to spend your money on. And I put on that paint, and I was like, oh wow, okay, I see, I get it now. This makes sense.
Yeah.
Ever since then, that's all I've used.
The only one that I don't get, and I don't know if you guys have this down south, is Faro and Ball. You ever seen that stuff?
No.
It's like high-end fancy paint, and it's like $200 a can.
Faro and
Ball.
But it's garbage. I've had so many painters say that they absolutely hate working with it. It's just the most overpriced. They put a lot of like marketing behind their color selection, all that stuff. So a lot of people will take their colors. But yeah, the actual paint itself is really bad.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Their website just goes, they want you to paint your floors. What?
Yeah, I would not trust
ceilings.
that.
Yeah,
I don't trust painting the floors.
I think it's an English company, so sorry.
$165 a gallon, which the emerald urethane is like 120, 130 a gallon. So this is even more than that.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it looks like they're definitely trying to tout all their like design resources and color schemes and stuff.
Yeah.
Green smoke is what they want me to buy. It actually looks a very similar color that we painted our laundry room cabinets. Then you can like do complementary colors and stuff like that. Very interesting.
Have you ever used these color keys that they come out with? You go into like the home center and they got the little pamphlet with all the colors that are supposed to go together for a room. You ever use those, or do you just kind of like pick your own colors?
I just pick my own colors.
Yeah.
I think unless you like see it on the surface, like that swatch guide is nice, but it's I don't know, the gap between what the swatch guide looks like and what the wall actually looks like when it's painted can be a pretty big chasm.
Good word, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I was reading my thesaurus earlier today.
To be honest with you, now I always just, ask Miranda what she wants.
Yeah.
It's like, what color you want? I'll take it. I mean, I feel like that's the safest bet, truly.
100%.
No, true.
100%. I have like a couple default colors that I'll go to, like what's the white one? Chantilly lace that's really popular right now.
Yeah.
If I need
That was
a
the one
white-
that's you recommended we painted the house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's like that's the in white color right
Yeah.
now. So, and that'll be good for another 10 years, and then it'll move to some other slight variation of white.
I needed it to be a cooler white, a warmer white. We were getting to the point where we had like 8 whites next to each other, and we're like, I don't know.
Oh, you just go nuts.
Yeah.
And then we're like, they all kind of look the same.
Yeah, it's like you're going to paint the wall, and then it's just going to be the color. You know, you're not going to think about like, oh, is that the perfect shade of white 5 years from now? So just
like,
pick one, go with it.
That's another thing that I'm pretty happy with Sherwin-Williams. I actually go into the Sherwin. We have 2 Sherwin-Williams stores. We got one on either side of us, so it's easy to get it. And I like that I can go in there and they log the paint that I buy, and I can tell them like what room or whatever information I want to give them for it, and they'll log all that. And then when I come back in a couple of years, I can pull it up and I know exactly. And they can replicate that can of paint for me right on the spot, and that's a game changer. Because our first house, we did not carefully document what we painted each room, and we thought we had the right cans, but my wife wanted to do shades of difference between some of the rooms, and so we had like 4 different shades of this blue going throughout the house, and it was a nightmare trying to find the right one for the right room.
Yeah.
You know, much like the furniture doing the touch-ups with clear coat, it can be tricky to touch up a wall too.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's the same can of paint, if it's been sitting in a basement and the UV exposure on the paint that's actually on the wall, it'll be a slightly different shade. And you'll have the exact same paint. You'll touch up a spot. You'll be like, I can see that touch up.
Yep. Every time I've had to touch it up, I've always had to like just repaint the wall.
Just repaint
so sometimes,
exactly. Yeah.
There'll be like a scuff or something on the wall, and my wife's like, we should probably touch that up. And I'm like, you can, I'm not gonna.
yeah.
Right.
There are some machines, I think, with like a matte or a flat, you might get away with a touch up, maybe. But generally,
semi-gloss?
No
chance.
But yeah, anytime, and that's why people are like, oh, those, we'll just patch the holes on the wall, and then we'll just like fill it, then you roll a little paint over it, nobody will ever see it. It's like, no, that's not. You got to fill the hole, sand it perfectly flat, and then paint the entire wall if you really wanted to go back to the way it was.
You're just getting screwed. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. I don't know what you can do to really patch that kind of stuff up, right? Especially if it's like by a window and you get that kind of like raking light come through.
Yeah.
That is impossible.
Yes.
Then you see every little wave in the drywall too, and like where you tried to do a little spackle to patch this one like teeny tiny nail. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yep. That's why when I used to sand drywall, I would set up a raking light, like a big, powerful light. You set it up raking along the wall that you're doing so that you can see like all the little imperfections and try and sand them out. So, yeah.
I will say that's one thing that we have here in Texas that is a double-edged sword. Textured walls. Every wall is textured in just about every house. Nobody does smooth walls.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so all the walls have like orange
thing.
Peel or something. Yeah, it's like a regional thing. Because I go up north and they're all smooth. And I like that look, but yeah, that's a pain. But the textured walls, whenever we go to touch in the paint, that kind of helps. That helps to hide it a little bit, I think. Because you can kind of feather it out and work with it.
For sure. Can help, I think, for like touching up a scuff or something like that. But if you have somebody, like a kid puts a baseball through the wall or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you have to like retexture the whole area.
That's the hard part is doing the texture part of it. Yeah, matching the texture is a pain.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Like a can of like spray paint texture that you just like you kind of like feather it out and stuff.
Yeah.
Depends on the texture
though.
But you do that, and then you get what's called a knockdown knife, and so you spray up the texture, and you use this little it's like a foam blade, and you just gently like at a certain point in the drying process, you gently like wipe it down, and it creates a matched texture to what you have on the wall. If that's what you already have on the wall, is a knockdown texture.
God.
And then you can get a can that's like orange peel, or you can get a can that's like popcorn, or you can get a can for like all the I think there's like 4 different types of textured cans that you can get. But yeah, our last one, it had knockdown, and that was pretty easy to match. This one, it's all that orange peel, so it's not knocked down, so that might be a little more difficult to match.
Is it kind of that orange peel texture with deeper valleys in it? Like, I don't know.
Ours weren't that deep. They were pretty light. It was kind of the orange peel, just like, and then they knocked it down, is what our old one was.
What about the ceiling? What do you got going on the ceiling?
Oh, this ceiling is just orange peel, but our old house was nightmare popcorn, and we took it out of most of the house by the end, and then we sold the house. And I was like, what did we do all that work for?
Right. Yeah, good Lord. What do you guys think? Like, forget regional, forget style. Like, if you had any wall material or texture or whatever, what do you think? Like, this is what I would go with. It's going to be the easiest to repair, strongest, whatever. What do you think you'd go for?
Unpainted drywall.
Unpainted drywall. Plywood.
Plywood, there you go.
I was going to say brick.
Brick,
yeah.
On the inside, yeah. Yeah, that could look pretty good.
That's a different aesthetic. I mean, like, completely forget the aesthetic. I'm just saying, like, what do you think would be the easiest to live with, most durable, and like...
Yeah.
Maybe...
I might just go smooth. I think maybe it's the northerner in me speaking, but I might just go smooth. I'm so used to it.
Well, lap and plaster. Just lap straps, plaster over the top of it.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
If you ever got to repair it, it's just more plaster.
They don't still build houses like that, do they?
Not anywhere.
Not since drywall.
Yeah. Can you imagine the I don't know, the disruption that must have occurred when somebody invented the drywall board?
Yeah.
Must have been millions of guys who install lath and plaster. Just like, oh shit! Like
it's new technology. It's not going to last.
Yeah,
these lazy people with their drywall.
Well, I imagine it was some sort of like insider job. You know, it was like everybody was running this lap and plaster scam. Then somebody was like, "Wait, what if we just made a board of this?" And then people are coming home from work. Honey, they caught on to us.
There was actually a weird kind of, so we're all used to like the 4x8 sheets, but there was a while I've torn down some old houses like this where they were just doing 2x2 sheets of it. Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, probably early on. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
My dad's house is that lap and plaster. And like all the houses in that area, because they're all like 100-year-old homes at least. And so they're all like that lap and plaster.
Yeah. It sucks to tear down. It's so dusty. It makes such a mess. Because the wall literally, it's the heaviest stuff in the world. The wall literally just crumbles away. And then you have all these like 1x2 pieces of wood that you have to get rid of too. And it's all mixed together.
It's got a nail sticking out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we were, I was helping my buddy renovate his house that he got. He just burned it all. Like,
what do you mean?
The whole house just burned it down?
No, like when we like took out his like drywall and plaster and stuff, literally was putting the drywall in
a big burn
the
pit?
burn pile. I was like,
can it burn? It's just rock. I guess the paper could burn off.
Yeah, no, I think it can burn because they have the fire rated stuff. And even the fire rated stuff says like it's only good for 45 minutes of fire protection.
Right.
At a certain point, I mean, you get anything hot enough, it burns.
That's true.
He just didn't want to pay for a dumpster when he was doing this renovation. So he literally just had like, you know, you see like in the movies, like the hobos out there with like the 55-gallon drums and they got a little bonfire going. He had like 3 of those going in his backyard for weeks on end, was just burning everything.
I mean, great for the pocketbook, bad for the environment, I think. But
I mean, it was burning stuff that had paint all over it. I was like, this is terrible for you to be breathing in. He's
all
like,
sorts of adhesives, probably a bunch of asbestos in there.
Oh, right? Yeah. It was probably, I honestly wouldn't surprise me if he was burning the old insulation.
Oh, man.
I could tell you stories.
I'm simultaneously shocked and appalled, but then also kind of like, yeah, all right, whatever. I'm kind of impressed by it on some level. That's commitment, He wouldn't pay $50 at the dump, but he would man 3 5-gallon or 50-gallon drums for weeks, just slowly burning everything.
I'll even I'm going over there on Friday, and half the time before I go over there, he'll text me. He's like, "Hey, can you bring over a saw?" And I'm like, usually, so when you guys know this, somebody says, "Hey, can you bring a saw?"
Yeah.
You're like, your next question is, "What are you trying to do?"
Yes,
because you want to figure out if I'm bringing my good saw or my bad saw.
And right, and because
or which
we all
saw
have
too.
Exactly, we all have a
too.
multitude of saws. Do you need a jigsaw? Do you need a circular saw?
Yeah.
Miter saw?
Sometimes your friend will be like, bring over your reciprocating saw because I got to cut some sheets of plywood.
And you're like,
if they know it's a reciprocating saw, they have a reciprocating saw.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like people use recip saws more for unintended uses.
100%. You guys were talking last week about how you use yours for pruning the trees.
Right. You're like, am I going to use this recip saw to cut construction lumber and build a deck? Hell no. Yeah, take a tree out with it.
For a long time when I was younger, when I was working with my dad, he would only use jigsaws to cut sheets of plywood. Even big long rips and stuff like that. I think it wasn't until the early 2000s that he got a proper circular saw.
Did he
didn't have a circular saw before that?
No, I don't think so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, or I'm sure he owned one, but his go-to was always the jigsaw for cutting plywood.
Interesting.
Was that why you quoted projects so high?
Yeah, definitely.
Dad's like, it's going to take me 24 hours to get 3 sheets of plywood.
I know.
Jigsaw. He probably still has never bought a new jigsaw blade either.
But cutting a straight line with a jigsaw, that's a skill.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Did you use a straight edge?
No, I don't think so. You would pencil it out with a straight edge, and then you just kind of follow your trace marks.
This guy's over here doing the Lord's work.
Right.
Oh, well.
I guess in construction, you got a little bit of, a millimeter, if you will, of leeway at least.
Yeah, we're talking cutting plywood for a subfloor or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be super accurate.
I mean, you can't screw it up too bad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminded me. Deric, did you happen to pull that audio clip?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh,
what was it we were going to pull?
What I screwed up this week.
Oh,
I can get that on here real quick though.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk amongst ourselves for a second. We have some thrilling audio that we would love to share with you guys. But what was I going to say? I still don't have a recip saw. I need to buy one.
You don't have? Yeah, I don't. I have corded ones. I don't. I actually no. Sorry, I have a little mini one. The little. Most tool companies make a big one and a small one. Well, most tool companies make 3 or 4.
Yeah, you're talking about the one-handed one.
The one-handed, exactly.
It's almost like a hacksaw.
Yes, yeah. I have the one-handed one, but I don't have a two-handed cordless one, just a plug-in one.
I'm going shop. Whoa! Okay.
What?
The Festool recip saw is $370.
What's some Milwaukee?
For Festool, that's not bad.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But, I mean, let's be honest. This thing is going to get beat to all hell, right?
Yeah. Well, this is Canadian, but the Milwaukee one's $350, so figure $250, $275 American.
So, yeah. I got $229, $279 if you want the fuel, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I barely understand the DeWalt product lineup, let alone the Milwaukee one.
Right, there's a fuel Gen 2, a non-fuel,
a diesel, jet fuel,
hybrid.
I know we've talked about this for ages. Who the hell is working at these companies that hasn't said, guys, we need to make this easier to understand?
You know what, though? I will give Milwaukee credit. I think their impact guns are just like Milwaukee Impact Gen 1, Milwaukee Impact Gen 2. So at least they're like they've simplified, because DeWalt is like, I was trying to shop for an impact gun recently, and they have like the DCF 888, the DCF 850, the DCF 860, the DCF 870. Those have all been released in the last 2 or 3 years, and the higher the number is not the better tool.
Right. Right. Like,
Yeah.
And the lower the number isn't the better tool either.
so I'm on the Milwaukee website right now, and I just went under like Sawzall's reciprocating saws. Would you care to fathom a guess of how many cordless options they have?
Cordless only.
Yes, and this doesn't include the one-handed, two-handed.
Okay, 4.
5.
Ah, damn it. And that doesn't include the one-handed, so they probably got 4 or 5 one-handed ones.
And they have
then
5 corded ones.
Okay, so they probably have 15 different reciprocating saws.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's nuts. That is
So
way
they're
too many
one-handers. How many one-handers do they got? I can't even imagine. I bet they got 15. No, they only have 4 one-handers.
options. Okay, still 14 total, I think.
Yeah.
That's still too many.
But like, okay, if I told you the M18 fuel hacksaw or the M18 hacksaw recip saw,
I guess
would you assume the fuel one's better? Maybe
I would assume fuel is like a higher tier.
right, but no one knows, right?
Nobody knows. Yeah, literally don't know. And DeWalt does the same thing. Like DeWalt has the normal tool, then they have the atomic tool, then they have the XR and
Flex
Flex
Yeah,
Volt.
Flex Volt.
No, there's an even better one. There's like Flex Advantage.
Oh, isn't there? Don't they have a Flex Max?
They do. Okay, hold on. This is ridiculous.
Ask ChatGPT
Yes,
to decipher the whole line of DeWalt tools, because no one knows. No one knows.
I don't know how to phrase this so that ChatGPT can understand what I'm asking. Like, what are all the different lines of DeWalt tools? Then it's going to give me,
Or how rank the DeWalt
cheap.
tools such as XR, FlexVolt, Atomic.
Yeah, rank the DeWalt.
Yeah,
tool.
might be able to do it for you better.
I don't know. This is going to be. I'm pulling the retort on this because it's going to be a bad podcast.
No
But
one knows. No one knows.
I think ChatGPT will be like, it doesn't even make any sense. Don't bother trying to understand it. Yeah.
Oh, Derek, do I see the audio clip? The audio clip that we need
I
on
think
here?
you do.
It's popped up.
Okay, light it up.
Here is what I.
Oh,
Screwed up this week.
yeah, we stole that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like that.
Here is what I.
Uh-oh. It's on loop.
Stop.
We want to give a huge shout out to our friends Keith and Jason over at the Shop Sounds podcast for that lovely audio clip. Make sure you check them out at wherever you're
Shop
listening
Sounds
to this.
podcast.
Just type in Shop
Yeah.
Sounds. You'll find it. You'll probably listen to them. Well, yeah. I texted the guys this weekend. I made a big one. So
Let's hear it.
I'm building this like hall table, and the base. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I know this only works for folks who are watching the show, which you now can watch the show on Spotify, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Putting up the video there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Spotify, YouTube,
So,
Facebook.
oh, it's on Facebook? Right
Yeah.
on. So I'm pulling up the model. What this basically is it's a hall table. It's about, can you guys see this? Did that come through?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Here, let me.
Deep off the wall, about 48 inches wide. And the top has kind of like 2 drawers, almost kind of like a small cabinet. And the base, for lack of better terms, is like, think of like an A, right? So it has kind of tapered, splayed, angled legs on the side with a little like shelf down the middle, and it connects at the top, right? kind of like the letter A. Now, in that base, I've tried to make the pieces as complicated as possible. There's a bunch of like curves that they all meet up together with, and then they're all cut at varying angles. So like on the screen, you can see I got these little lines that go across, kind of represent where the angles are being cut.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm putting it all together this weekend, and it's all 8-quarter lumber. So it's, I guess I
Beefy.
can stop sharing now. It's beefy, it's heavy,
Mm-hmm.
it's expensive, right?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of lumber for this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it all together, and I make like some templates and stuff out of MDF, and I'm using Fusion 360. So as we discovered a couple weeks ago, but that you can actually export like the geometry. It's called a DXF file, and I put it in the Shaper Origin. I made some templates. I was like, great, good to go. Well, I cut all the pieces and stuff, and I was going to like, just before any glue or anything was together, I put it together, and I'm like, something is not right here.
Oh.
Like, it's the general shape is there,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm getting like a 1/4 to 1/2 inch gap, and I'm like, I can't figure it out.
Oh, I think I know,
And so
because I made the same mistake.
I'm like, okay, I'm trying to rack my brain, right? I'm like, with the Shaper Origin, when you like have like a line, right? It says, do you want to cut inside,
That's what I thought.
on the line, or outside?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I definitely messed that up, right? But then I like, take a couple measurements and stuff, and I'm like, no, it's right. This leg is supposed to be 1.5 inches at the bottom. It's 1.5 inches in Fusion. And I'm, no joke, I'm in the garage for 2, maybe 3 hours trying to figure out what the hell I did. And I couldn't figure it out. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I can just kind of fudge it. Maybe I can like, just cut like this one piece shorter and kind of just like squeeze and scooch things together.
Yeah, that's what I do with all my projects.
Right. So I did that because of all these compounding angles, and like these things are splayed and you have angles, and it's not working. So I'm like, fuck, right? Like, you're just like, I have to get this project done because I'm under a deadline. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have another video in the bag. I've got to get this thing going. And I'm not a 10 out of 10, but I'm a good like 8.5, 9.
Mm-hmm.
Like pulling my hair out, and I'm getting mad. I'm getting a work call, and I'm like super frustrated, whatever. So I go upstairs, take the work call and do some stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm going to open up Fusion and just like, I had to have done something wrong. And I start looking at it, I'm like, no, okay, that angle was cut with that one and that one, that one. And then I finally see it. When I drew the sketch, I had like, okay, I want this side to be 1.5 inches. So then when you go to the other side, you're like, how big does this one need to be? And you're like, oh, reference this dimension there, right?
Sure.
I didn't do that in one spot.
Okay.
Going and screwing around with the dimensions and stuff. One of the tops of the legs, I told it to be 2.75 inches. The other one on the other side was like 3.75 inches.
Okay.
So because of all these different angles and the legs tapering and stuff like that, those angles just drastically messed it all up, and like to the point where you can't recover from it.
Oh no.
I'm like, all because of one freaking number in Fusion that I literally like ruined this entire base.
Oh man, that sucks. So, I mean, okay, one question. What are you going to do to fix it? Are you going to start again?
So what I figured I could do is basically take the entire base in and of itself and just kind of make every dimension smaller So
Yeah.
like think of like putting like a Russian stacker doll, right?
Yeah.
Instead of making the base the largest doll, I'm actually making it one shell inside.
Yes. Okay.
So I was able to basically just keep the sides and the bottom shelf, and then I had to like redo the top part and kind of like fudge that to get it in.
Yeah.
It was not easy, and it was a nightmare.
How does it look?
It looks fantastic.
Okay, so the proportions being a little bit different don't bother you in terms of like the overall lines of the project or anything like that?
Nope,
Okay.
it's fine. But like, dude, I was pulling my hair out and like
Trying to figure out. So I guess the other question is like, is there a way in the future that you can avoid having a mistake like this, short of going and like checking all your dimensions? Yeah.
So go ahead, Derek.
Well, I was gonna say one thing that I tried doing on this project I'm working on now. Whenever I designed it, I assigned every measurement a name and a number, and anything that was duplicated, it used the same name. So yeah, I think they call it, was it parametric design or something like that in Fusion?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a huge pain in the ass. And I did not do it on subsequent projects because it was such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But whenever I wanted to go in and make adjustments as I'm, tweaking this design, it was super easy. Just made a change.
Yeah,
here.
you don't even have to find like which sketch you used in Fusion. You just go to the parameters, like edit parameters, and you're like, 2 inches. Oh, make it 2.5. Yeah.
Yep.
So to give people listening at home a kind of a real world example of this, you could say, for instance, you're going to build a bunch of cabinets. You're going to make them all you're going to make all the carcasses out of plywood. You can go into Fusion and say, all of these panels have the property that they're made out of plywood, and my plywood is 5/8 thick.
Right.
And then you could get to the end of the project and you could be like, well, actually, you know what? I want to use 3/4 ply. You can go in and change one variable and it will change all of your cabinets to now be 3/4 thick, and it'll adjust everything so that it all still fits. I mean, assuming you laid out your project correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that made it easy for like all the little plastic things, like the jigs and everything that I made for it, to just punch those into a separate sketch to like make hanging things and stuff like that, and then use those same parameters, and easy peasy.
Yeah. I'm the person who I do use parameters in my Fusion 360 models, but it's typically for like you said, Zach, like I'll do like material thickness. I'll do overall height, overall width, overall depth. So like if I'm doing a dining table, you're like, you want to be 30 inches tall. Put that as a parameter.
Yeah.
You want the tabletop to be an inch thick. Put that as a parameter. But if I'm like, I actually think I want to do a 1/4 inch round over on this edge, I wouldn't put that in as a parameter. I would just select the edges, press 1/4 inch.
Yeah. Yeah, there's certain things where I guess if you're going to be repeating it a lot, I honestly don't use the parameter thing nearly as much as I probably should.
No.
I find I get caught up in hardware a lot. Like I'll do, all of my screws are going to be M4 screws or something. I'm like talking for like a finer, like a video game console or something like that. I'll be like, all of my screws are M4 screws. And then at a certain point, I'll be like, you know what? I actually need a beefier screw. I'll move up to M5. And then so I'll go and I'll have to like rechange all of my screw holes. And invariably, you always miss one or two of them if you have a project that has like 30 screws in it.
But see, if you use your parameter thing.
I know. Yeah, exactly. You could just set like, here's like, you could even have like a big screw, a small screw parameter. So you have a little bit of variation in there. So it is something I should probably be more familiar with, but it's
such a pain. I mean, especially like whenever you go through the project and you're like, half of these are numbers that I only put in once, and that was for the parameter, and I've never had to put them in again.
Yeah. I think for a table or something like that, probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But if you were going to make something, cabinets, probably then you're starting to get into it. Or, you're going to make like a series of cabinets. Like if you wanted to do, you wanted to do like an entire kitchen and you wanted to have like standard sizes and you need a special one for the microwave, et cetera, et cetera. I think that it might be worth it, but.
I definitely did it when I was designing like my whole miter saw thing in my garage with like I don't know, there's probably at least 30 cabinets, if I had to imagine there, of varying sizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like that made that whole process pretty easy. But
How's your naming convention? Like whenever you're dealing with like hundreds of different measurements that you're putting into your parameters, how are you naming things?
see, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Because
I don't
what
even
am I
name my
gonna-
sketches that well.
Yeah.
My sketches is like, oh, like sketch 3 to fix issue on sketch 1. Like,
right. Yeah. Because, I mean, you could, like, just for, like, the shape of a leg, you could be, like, leg thickness. Okay, well, that would probably be, like, you know, what you're going to mill the wood to. But then what do you call the bottom front? Would that be the bottom front leg thickness and top front leg thickness and then middle front leg thickness?
Yep.
Like, dear Lord.
I use like kind of like a Dewey Decimal System. So like the whole project is called like the Brown House display
Sure.
rack, and everything underneath of that then gets called like BHDR dot, and then whatever the new thing is. And then if there's multiples of them, I put numbers on the end of it. And then the next level, it's that BH whatever dot, and then whatever the next what was it? Initialing.
Brown house rack.
Yeah, initialing of like the next layer, and then dot whatever, and you know,
Oh,
so
okay,
then I
okay.
end up with kind of like this like initialization system, if you will,
okay.
and then the dots are like how deep into that I am. That works for me.
Okay. That's wild to me. But hey,
Yeah.
if that works, I mean, here I am just trying to get this damn project done.
I like a good system that's only parsable to the original creator. Like if you handed a file off like that
Nobody
to
would
somebody
know.
else,
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell is going on here? But you can navigate it perfectly. I like
It's your own sense of security.
Yeah.
Derek, you're creating job security.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly. Yeah. Hey, I found all of the DeWalt tool lines here.
All
just
right.
for fun.
Oh, is this on
So-
ChatGPT? Did you figure it out?
No, I found a Reddit post where somebody was asking
Perfect.
about
Okay.
it. There's actually
Even
a pretty
more.
detailed answer. But there's the flex volt. We're going to start top, work our way down. Flex volt, that's the 60 volt battery line. Then you have the flex volt advantage. Now these are tools that can take a 60 volt battery and will get more performance if they do, but they can also take a 20 volt battery.
Wait. How does flex volt in and of its name tells me it should work on-
Flex volt, you can take a 60 volt battery and put it on any 20 volt tool. That's why they call it flex volt.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I thought it was
flex-
I thought the battery itself could either go 20 or 60, and then
Yes.
the tool denotes which one of those it takes.
If the tool says flex volt on it, then it takes a 60 volt battery. You cannot. It's kind of confusing. You cannot use a 20 volt tool, but with a flex volt advantage tool, you could use either battery.
Hmm.
And then, hold on, gets more confusing. There's also the power detect line, which again is the exact same thing.
I haven't
It's
heard of
saying
this
that
one.
if you use a more powerful battery, such as a 60 volt battery or one of their power stack batteries, the ones that have like what are they called, pouch cell.
Yeah, that's what came out after the flex volts. That was their next big battery thing.
Is that a
Yes.
20 volt or a 60 volt?
It's a 20 volt. It's a 20 volt. The tire output.
They're smaller.
And then there's the XR line, which
Okay.
is kind of their high-end, kind of more professional tools, but sits generally below the flex volt, the flex advantage and the power detect. Then there's the atomic line, which sits below XR generally, but is more compact.
Mhm.
And then there's just 20 volt max, I think they call it.
Yeah.
But I feel like they have a line below the 20 volt max, which is just like they're ones that looks like it's a McDonald's toy, where like the yellow's not even the right color.
I think that's a 20 volt max, I think, but
Okay.
I could be wrong. And they also have a 12 volt line as well.
Like
Yeah.
genuinely, if I went into Home Depot and there were no prices on anything, I don't know that I could pick out the best drill or circular saw.
No.
They don't even put like on the box like all the specs you would need to make that choice.
Nope. And
Well, even if I saw the specs, I wouldn't know.
yeah.
You know, oh, this one has this much torque. Okay, well, this one might have less torque, but it might have more of this. Like,
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's
Sakes.
not always about pure power. Like
Yeah.
the impacts. A lot of the time, some of them will have higher RPMs but lower torque. So you can actually it'll still drive a screw faster a lot of the time.
And some of them have anti-twist technology now.
I saw that.
It's pretty cool.
I would
dude,
want,
if you don't have that on a drill,
yeah,
you're
I've never-
missing out.
Do you know how many times I've ripped my wrist trying to use like a 6-inch hole saw or something like that?
You know how many times I've knocked myself in the nads?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna use my hip to brace this thing, and you're like, nope, it's going
Wham.
right back at you.
That's why the trigger doesn't typically lock in.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. I would love to know, if, like, from an ER person, like how many people have literally snapped their wrist from drills like that.
Guaranteed somebody's broken their wrist.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because
I
they even
have-
give you that extra handle that it helps. But honestly, who's really putting that on? Unless
Nobody
they're
takes
just
it.
cranking
just
that all day.
It's just an
Yeah,
extra
exactly.
part to hit you. So now you're getting hit by two things.
I will say that handle actually really does help to control the tool when it goes wild, but I almost never use it.
The only time you're going to use it if you're like, oh, I have to put 17,000 holes in this thing. You're like, I'll put the
Yes.
handle on. If you're doing one, come on. No one's putting that
Yes.
handle on.
I have look up the oh god, this is such a horrible product name. Look up the Bosch. Oh, where is it? Okay, here we go.
Legacy Season 3.
No, look up
Dishwasher?
Look up the Bosch 11264 EVS. It's what I would call a demo hammer.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
man, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
both a hammer drill and a jackhammer combined. into one
Hell
tool.
yeah, brother.
This thing has nearly broken my wrist on
Oh, I
like
bet.
5 or 6 different occasions.
The
Trying
Bosch
to-
hammer.
Just picking it up, I'm sure.
With a big coring bit, trying to like cut a 6-inch hole through solid concrete. It catches and it will rip. And even though it's a trigger tool with no lock, it will keep spinning for like 3 or 4 seconds after you let go of the trigger.
Oh, it
if
like
you
winds down.
Yeah, so if you try to hold on to the tool while it's bound up, it will absolutely destroy you. They honestly shouldn't sell it. It's dangerous.
I take it they don't make a battery version of this.
They do not. No, this is one of those tools that I don't think anybody makes a cordless version of yet. There's no point. It would just run through the battery too quickly.
I got one for you.
Okay.
Type in the Milwaukee MXF 301.
301. What the heck is this? Oh, it's like a drill press?
Ooh.
It's dedicated for drilling
Oh,
like cores and stuff.
okay.
You know how
Oh,
much
look
it
at this
is?
thing.
It's like $7,000.
Whoa. Yeah.
Wait, mine's battery powered.
Yeah. I'm looking at a battery. Holy
Yeah.
crap. What batteries does this thing take? It takes
I don't
2
know.
of whatever it is.
2 MX fuel batteries, whatever the hell that is.
Is that like look at the size of that battery. That thing's crazy.
Yeah, that
It's got
has to be
Bluetooth.
like their 60-volt line or something like that.
Yeah.
I told you I got a few buddies that work for Milwaukee, and some of the stuff that they talk about that Milwaukee makes is so asinine. Like, I wonder
Well-
if they actually sell any of those.
I mean, look, there's probably 2 or 3 guys out there who just rip one of those things all day long. And that's all they do. They just drive around to different industrial sites, punching out holes in solid concrete walls with it.
Be honest, though. You get your hands on one of those things, and you're like,
You're at least making a couple pew pew sounds.
Oh, yeah.
I've never felt more alive.
Yeah,
Something like that.
electric.
I'm on the Home Depot website, and there's an image of a guy using the thing with because it comes with a stand, right?
Sure.
The guy's like holding the tool and the stand against the wall with one hand. I'm very confused.
Hey,
Maybe it's like, oh, I think it's like hung from above or something.
maybe, I don't know. He's plowing through that concrete block though.
Are you looking at the same one?
Yeah. I
He's
think
on
it is
like
just
a-
hanging up. Oh, I think it's anchored to the wall, actually. Like, if you zoom in a little bit, it looks like there's a...
Yeah.
So this guy needs a separate tool. He probably needs like 2 or 3 separate tools to anchor his tool in place before he uses it.
I think
Yeah.
you make the first hole, and then you use that one for your anchor point to do the next
Yeah.
hole, and then work your way up. But
Oh,
yeah,
you
that
think
first
that's what
one's
it is?
harrowing.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen to this though. With that several $1,000 saw,
Mm-hmm.
it hold on, it gave me a spec. Damn it, I lost it. It was hold on, sorry.
The battery voltage,
okay.
by the way, is 72 volts, which I've never even heard of before.
If you're drilling through a 70 volts,
72.
72.
oh okay. If you're drilling through a 6-inch thick concrete slab,
Mm-hmm.
good lord, that's a lot of concrete.
Yeah.
And you're doing 3-inch holes, you can do 10 of them before this thing dies.
And that's probably an impressive stat. They're probably like, this is going to blow people's minds.
Like,
If you
to
do
me,
10.
I'm like, okay, and then I have to wait 7 hours for the battery to charge. Like,
But I mean, like, your setup and everything on drilling that hole and how long it's going to take you to drill out that hole.
Yeah.
it takes you a week to prep to drill the hole.
Yeah.
You're like, but guys,
It's
not gonna
probably
break
just
my
guys working on big condo buildings and apartment buildings ripping these
Retrofitting
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
What
It's
do you
got 14 reviews. They sold at least 14 of them.
Ooh, you see the power station they have for it, too, for those batteries?
Oh
What is
yeah.
it?
Well, it comes with 2 batteries. Oh, okay. Oh, does it only take one at a time? I assumed it took both.
It looks like
but-
it took one at a time, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you-
Naturally, I had to Google what the most expensive Milwaukee tool is. Do you guys care to take a guess?
this has got to be up there. Are we going to guess what it is or what the price is?
Oh, guess what the price is first.
20 grand. Is it the microwave?
15 grand.
The most expensive one is $13,999, so $14,000.
That's close at 15, but I guess Price is Right rules. I'm still screwed.
It's the M18 325-foot stiff modular pipeline inspection system.
What the hell? Hold on. Most expensive.
What do you even need?
What is this
thing?
bad boy? Oh, it's like a snake. It looks like
Yeah.
That makes
like
sense.
a snake with a camera on it. I
Yeah,
mean,
guess.
again, like there's probably somebody out there who really needs this thing. They probably built their whole business around it. All right, what's the most expensive DeWalt tool?
325 feet, though.
Impact driver, $300.
Oh. What the heck is this thing?
Is it more or less than Milwaukee?
Less. Significantly less.
So no more than $5,000, I would guess.
Is it a concrete saw? There's a knockout tool kit, whatever the hell that is.
No, I don't even know what the hell this thing is. It's a dieless electrical crimping tool, and it's $6,400.
Huh. Oh, I think that's for
It's like
crimping,
conduit or something.
yeah, like those really thick, like 2-inch thick electrical conduit and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's the ones that are like the size of a bratwurst.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Is that
whenever like a manufacturing plant gets a, for lack of a better term, a electrical junction box put in for all their electricity, this is what they use.
And they're running like some like triple aught cable or something
Yeah.
like that.
Guys, hold the horses. Hold on. Look up the DCP S150.
TCPS 150. Is this DeWalt?
Yes. Now, do you have it pulled up?
Oh, the Power Shift core drill stand.
Now, tell me this is not the exact same thing as that Milwaukee that we just looked at, but it's like half the price.
Oh, well, don't get me started on that.
It's $6,700, and it's even got its own batteries that I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
The Power Shift batteries.
Okay, so we need to add a new thing to the DeWalt lineup.
No one knows. This is exactly what I'm talking about. No one has any damn idea what they're buying when they get tools.
For everybody who's listening at home, this tool, is it a 60-volt tool? According to the spec sheet down here,
60 volt. It's a flex volt.
it says wireless tool communication, water management. Oh, it's got, okay, so you can get a water tank, a cordless water tank that it'll communicate wirelessly with.
Interesting.
Did you know that DeWalt makes their own version of the Grabo, that like lifting handle thing?
I did know that, actually.
I think they didn't they license that from Grabo?
Is that what it is?
Something like that, yeah.
Because it's the same form factor and everything.
Yeah,
need to
it's
get one of
literally
those
just
things.
like, looks like they slapped a DeWalt logo on a Grabo.
It's only $230.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I
You ever
didn't
use
know.
one of those?
No, I don't trust it. I know people like, would trust their lives with one of them, but
I like it. And have
Yeah.
you
Got
seen
one.
like what Izzy Swan's doing with him? He's got like a whole setup where he builds he's got like on his table hold downs with the vacuum thing, and he just attaches the Grabo to the side of the table, turns it on, and then it creates like a vacuum on the top of the table to like hold down materials and stuff.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just
People are a
don't
lot
like how can
smarter than I am.
it seal properly?
What's the battery life on one of these things?
True. Like imagine
I think
your
it's like an
battery.
hour.
Imagine you're carrying like a stone countertop with this thing, and the battery dies.
I tell you what, I'm gonna buy one of these things.
Ooh.
You can buy one. You can
I'll
let us
you
know.
Do I have any use for it right now?
Nope.
No.
That's
Well,
the
it's
best.
a write-off.
That's the best type of tool purchase.
You know, it's a write-off.
Wait, how much did you say you saw it for?
$259. I'm sorry.
They're not crazy. They're not crazy expensive.
That's on Home Depot's website here for $369. It must be.
Are you looking at the Canadian one? Because I'm
Big
seeing
Orange is trying to dick you out.
right.
Does it come with batteries?
Maybe that's what it is. Or there's a different version of it. 20 volt max, lithium, cordless Grabo, electric kit.
Yeah, there's probably an XR version.
Oh, yeah, it's got a-
Volt Advantage.
It's got a 2 amp hour battery that comes with it, charger and back. Yeah, there
That's
it is.
offensive. A
233 for the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a tool recently, and it came with a 2 amp hour battery, and I honestly consider just throwing it in the garbage.
Because by the time you're gonna drill one hole in some concrete, and that thing's gonna be dead.
Yeah.
The only thing I
also
use it for is my little palm router. It's fine for that. Because
Really?
I don't generally, I'm not doing like a whole lot. I can usually do whatever I need to do with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the big batteries.
Yeah.
I like a big battery too.
Give me like a good 5-6 amp hour. That's a good, not
Yeah.
too heavy.
Not too heavy, but it's got. It's going to make it through a day, like on an impact or drill or something like these. Throw a 5 amp hour in there,
Oh,
it's going to
you're
last
good.
you all day. But at 2, you're like, I might get 2 cuts into this thing, and this thing is good and done.
Or if you're really weak, like Scott Walsh, you could probably handle a 2 amp hour battery. It is what it is. Somebody's
Shots
gotta do
fired.
it.
Shots fired.
Hey, Scott joined us. Thanks for coming in, Scott. Well, Scott, I hate to tell you, man, this is the end of the show because we have to head to our BYOC live hangout call with our patrons tonight.
Maybe if he jumps over on Patreon and joins top tier, he could join us.
You could?
Yeah, he could. I don't think he will.
I wouldn't count him in for a supportive fella. We got to get Scott back on the show sometime soon. Do you think we can con him back into coming?
Yeah, well, I'm going on vacation in a couple of weeks, so you can have him in to fill my seat. You need one Toronto host at all times. Actually, shout out to Scott. We were talking business insurance the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I'm working with a broker. He's trying to find me the best deal." It's like, "Oh, okay. Shoot me his contact information. Maybe I'll give him a call myself." It turns out it's my buddy from university who he's working with.
That's that. we gotta circle back on this. The whole business insurance thing, I
Yeah.
think is something.
Yeah.
You mean not everybody uses Next?
What's next?
It's the one that everybody promotes on if they're
Yeah.
promoting social or insurance on social media.
Yeah, they're doing a big marketing push, or they have been for a while.
Do they pay well?
I don't know. I haven't got the offer yet.
You notice I didn't ask, is it a good product? Do they pay well?
I mean, got a business to think about. You got to write off that Grabo you just bought.
I know. Well, everybody, as always, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week, but we're heading over to the BYOC call with our patrons. Going to hang out with them,
Sure.
shoot the breeze with them, and see what comes out.
Mm-hmm.
See everybody. I want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons: Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey, Josh at Sawdust Builds, Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop, Goblin Spanker,
Can't say that anymore.
Building Creative. Dadu said, yeah, buddy. Bill Burkle at WTB Woodworking. Don't forget to spend your Burkle bucks while you're over there.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I follow you.
You should stop.